All right, good morning, guys, and welcome to Health Coach Academy Week 4. Most of you will be listening as a recording, which is cool. So it's just myself and Cheryl will rock an epic call for you. All right. So we're going to get straight into it. I'll try and make it as quick as possible. If anything can be that quick. Awesome. So first up, we're just going to share some good news, and I'll just have pretty much just have a chat with Cheryl. Awesome. All right, come in, Cheryl. How's your week been?
Hi, Carla. My week's been fantastic.
Awesome.
Really smashed out Fit Club last night. It was so much fun. It's probably the most I've ever done to help out in one Fit Club, but it was really awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome.
And other than work and Herbalife Fit Club, I haven't been doing much, but everything's rocking along. I've booked my flights for extravaganza. Still got one lot of accommodation to book, but other than that, I'm ready to go.
What is it, 23 days? Is that right?
Something like that, yeah.
Countdown is on. So was my good week?
Well, I'm actually flying out in 3 weeks.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah.
So cool. How did you go with homework? Did you start looking at making stories, like either an album or just collecting general stories in your head? I don't know. I like to have mine on paper when I show people. Did you look at anything like that?
Yeah, I've actually started going in. I haven't printed any out yet because I don't have any coloured ink, and I think the coloured photos are more effective.
Yeah.
So I need to save them all to stick and take them to work and print them out on the colour printer, because the colour printer is not attached to the computers at work. So, but no problem. So, but I also would like to get like some stories in an album on my phone, just for random, if I come across someone and I want to show someone. I remember sometimes I've come across someone, I want to show them someone's story, and I'm madly looking through the Facebook group for them.
Yeah.
Or I go to their page and try and find it. So I want to get like just a variety of stories on my phone, as well as having the folder that I take to the wellness evaluation.
Yeah,
because I think folder.
Yeah,
I still want to have the folder because it's bigger pictures and more effective if they can sit there with the folder in front rather than trying to read it on the phone.
Yeah. Did you look at setting up a follow-up system, or how you track like when you get new clients, or have you already got something in place?
I haven't got something that works in place. So I'm actually trying to decide like what. I thought about getting an index box, and then I thought, no, that'll just get lost in my stuff. So I'm looking at something that I can do either on my phone or my iPad.
Yeah.
That I can keep track of who, what, why, where. But I did make the effort to contact all my downline and my customers.
Awesome.
Just to see how everyone was going.
So did you then go further and then go on to the referral part?
No.
So the initial the contact's awesome, because that just gives you that like you're in contact with them still. So then, when you do get around to like maybe just mentioning about if they've got anyone else interested, it's not as what do you call it, like Sally and stuff, because obviously you're still in contact with them and you're being friends. Being nice. So it's you can't just go and ring someone and go, oh, can I have a referral?
No, that's right. Well, my girl that comes every second Tuesday, we've been talking about that, and I've sort of said to her, so has anybody started to notice? And she tells me about the lady across the road, but she said to her about how she's doing Herbalife and everything like this. And of course, the lady across the road is one of these people who are like, oh, that's just shakes.
Yeah.
And I just said to her, well, as you go, if you can even just get to say to her, "Oh, how about you just talk to my health coach?"
Yeah.
So she said she's going to kind of work on trying to do that.
Yeah. And as people see, like, as people get better results, it gets more to the fact, like, people don't actually care. Like, they'll go, oh, it's just shakes initially. And then eventually, like, well, it is just shakes, but you've lost.
But it works.
And they go, oh, I want some of that. Yeah. Yeah. So just planting those seeds and really just making them aware, if they have anyone at all that even asks any sort of questions, they can refer them back to you. Like,
Yeah,
that's all it
yeah.
is.
I have done that with my VIPs and senior consultants.
Yeah.
They all know now, because I had a couple that were kind of just putting out there, hey, do you want to buy some stuff?
Yeah.
So I kind of just said to them, hey, if you've got anyone interested, there's a right way to go about it. And if you're interested in learning to do it yourself, and I told them about all the, like, the Health Coach Academy and everything, but I said, if you're not interested in getting that deep into it just yet, I said, just give them my phone number or ask them if you can give me theirs, and I'll give them a call and I'll speak to them.
Yeah, that's the best way to deal with it, because we want to be as ethical as we can and we want to give everyone the best service possible. So awesome that you've let them all know that. So everyone's, hopefully they're taking notes from you speaking, Cheryl, because that's really, really important for people to be aware of, because anyone can get a membership. So, and then just distributing to random people is not what we're here for. That's what sets us apart from the rest. So awesome. Alrightio. Let's get cracking into it. There's a fair bit of information today, and some of it's really, I just love it. Like, I haven't really worked with 3-day trials, but we're going to go through working with 3-day trials. So it's really exciting. I think you had asked some questions about that, Cheryl, too. Awesome. Let's come on computer. All right. Menu for today. So we're going to go through wellness evaluations, DMOs or daily methods of operation, using the 3-day trial packs, and then goal setting revision. So week 1, I got everyone to write their goals, and now I want you to look at what goals you wrote, whether they've changed in the 4 weeks. Like, sometimes you put a goal and you think you can't, it's not realistic or something, and then later on you go, no, I can smash that easy. So we'll go through that, and we'll talk about revising those goals and how regularly we're going to do that. All right, so one of my main things I do with any new person is do a wellness evaluation. I like to know where they're at to start with, and what they're currently doing, to see where I can help them. Okay, so a great wellness evaluation is a key step in starting our clients in the right directions and helping them achieve health and fitness goals. So if someone goes, well, why do I need to do it? I just go, look, if I don't know your goals, I don't know how I can help you. So it's just a basic, we're going to sit down, it's just a chat. Some people hear the words wellness evaluation, it sounds quite scary. So just tell them it's going to be a basic chat. We're going to just go through what you're currently doing and see where I can help you. A proper wellness evaluation allows us to thoroughly assess our clients' wants and needs. Yes. It also provides us with more scope to help them achieve their wellness goals. So you can be more aware of which areas they need help in. Might be breakfast, might be their snacking during the day, might be that late night snacking or something like that. Somewhere, certain areas that they really need to improve. Okay, so first of all, you want to introduce what we're going to actually be doing in the appointment. So just so they're aware that you're going to be asking them some questions. I like to, if I get to a question that can be a little bit uncomfortable sometimes, you say that to them first, just to make, have a little joke or whatever, make them feel very comfortable. And building that rapport is really, really important. So asking a lot of questions, but actually listening to the answer and taking it in. So even if someone's speaking and they're just talking about answering a question, I'd take little notes. So there's certain little words that'll come out while they're speaking that you can really, really, focus on and take notes on, and it'll actually help you in the long run to help them achieve their goals. This will give you insight into what your client's goals and why they're important to them. So it can be something really basic. Like, I know when I had my wellness evaluation before I started, it might sound stupid, but something to me was like, oh, what's one of your goals? And it was really like a really silly little goal, but to me it was really, really important. And so make sure you're really like listening to what they're saying. Like it might seem like a really minor goal to you, but it might be major to them. So don't ever like dismiss it or whatever, you know, just make sure you're writing it all down and being totally supportive of all their goals. Have a client fill in the personal wellness profile form. I actually do this myself. I don't get them to fill it in. You can. I think I have sent one when they're being far away. I've just sent it to them so I can. So I was doing it over the phone, so I sent them a copy so they could see what I was going to be asking them. But I'm not. I have never personally got them to fill it out. I'm not sure. Have you ever, Cheryl?
No, I normally fill it out myself, unless I did actually send one away like you did to someone.
But you still talked them through it almost.
Yes, I was on the phone while we were doing it.
Yeah. So there is 2 options. There's a form available on herbalife.com.au under documents and policies. So that I think that's in my office, documents and policies. It's very basic. It's more of a really basic questionnaire. I like to use this one here. That's the one I use. It's a bit more detailed. And I keep that then in their folder. So then I've got all that information from the first time that I've spoken to them. It's got their seriousness level at the top. So that's really important to discuss straight away. Like I need to know that you want me to help you. If your serious is a 4, like you're almost wasting my time. So I need people to be like, no, it's above a 10, you know, I'm going to do this right to the end. And you can sort of gauge when you're talking to people how serious they are. They might tell you it's a 10 and it's not, but at that point, you're just going to just try and help them as much as you can. But don't invest your time if you can tell they start slacking off or whatever. Okay, so then you just go through all that. It's very basic. Fill it all in. The best thing I like to do is like the takeaways and like the coffees and that as well. So you can actually see how much they're spending on a weekly basis. Because some people go, oh, that's so expensive, your Herbalife. You know, it's, you know, if you get an ultimate pack, it's nearly $450 for the month. And then you go through their what they're actually consuming for the day or the week, and it's like, well and truly over that. So, and that's just on basic things like tea and coffees and occasional, you know, takeaway meals, or they get lunch at work or whatever like that. So making sure you should go through all that list, work out that daily cost they're spending at the moment, and just compare how affordable Herbalife can be. The other thing I like about this one is it's got straight up when you do your body composition, it's on that page too. So everything there from that day one is all on that first page, even your first measurement. Is that what it's called? Yeah, measurements. Awesome. Okay. So if you don't have scales, you can still do it. It is better. I personally like having my Tanita scales to do a body scan. If not, it's going to just be your weight and your measurements. But first of all, I do it different to this, but you can do it this way as well. Get them on the Tanita scales, perform the body scan. Actually go through all the questionnaire first and then do the scan. And then record their results on a personal wellness pass. So that's a little pass that you give them, and it's got all their info. It's got your details on it as well. So at the end of the call, I'll go through all the paperwork that I want you to have in your folders. And I can actually get that all for you. So it's all on the computer, so that's easy to do. And that gives them a little, like, you're going to explain it all to them, but then they get home and they read it all again, and if their results aren't how they want them to be, it just might motivate them a bit more to push, through and actually get a program and start losing some weight, Go through their wellness profile together, explain what all the results mean. So on the wellness pass, it's really great because it's got all that info there for you. So it's a matter of going, all right, how much body fat you got, check their age, check what's the, good level or whatever it is, acceptable, I can't even think of what the word is, and actually circling where they are and where they should be. And sometimes that's scary because like, I don't know, generally speaking, they're in the obese category. And it's quite frightening to people to see. So that's something I really need to reiterate with them, that these are their base numbers, and we can smash this, and we're gonna get the best result ever. So, and then also sometimes it's nice to give them a good result. So usually like when I have someone that's quite overweight, their muscle mass will be quite high, and that's pretty much because they're trying to carry that weight around with them every day. So that is always a good thing to point out, and it's showing them that their BMR is going to be high and their burn rate's going to be high. So that's a good sign. So there's some good things to talk about as well. So you don't want to give it all negative and make it sound all dreary and awful. So anything that's good, and and then talk about where you can get some improvement from. And then ask about a lot of things about their nutritional habits. Okay, so really, I know you go through the wellness and you're going through that questionnaire, but sometimes as they're speaking, they don't say it all. But if you can just keep asking them more and more questions, and eventually the truth will come out. All right, so these are all things that are on the questionnaire. Do they eat breakfast? Do they drink coffee? I like to ask what time they eat breakfast. So like, is it within an hour of waking? So I just like to know that, because some people say, yes, I eat breakfast, but it's like 4 hours later after they've woken up. Do they drink coffee? I ask why they drink the coffee too. I ask if is it more habit, or is it actually to get that boost? How much water do they drink? This is really, really important. Most people aren't drinking enough water. So just that improvement itself, if you can get them to drink, that 1 litre for every 25 kilos of body weight, that'll be an improvement in itself. How often do they eat out? So that'll be to do with how much money they're spending as well. Sandy's jumped in. All these questions will allow you to develop an understanding of your client's eating habits and how they could potentially utilize a nutrition program. So it's great to, like, especially breakfast skippers and things like that. The idea of having a smoothie for breakfast is quite easy for them to understand, because it's not like they don't have to make a big meal, and that's half the breakfast skippers problem usually. It's because it's just a time consuming thing to eat breakfast. So if you can show them the way of, like, just a quick smoothie, chuck it in the blender, 5 minutes max, you can even drink it as you go into work. You don't even have to sit down and eat it, So talking through what they're doing, why the program would help them, and then, set. Awesome. Click. And then sharing stories. So like we talked about having that folder there so you can explain it to them. So I always have a few pictures, and then actually little, almost like a little blurb story, the actual story written underneath. So if I have time where I'm actually writing something there, like looking through it while I'm doing stuff as well. So if there's anything relevant to a client, then share that story. So if they need to lose 50 kilos or something, I can say, oh, well, my friend Shelby, she's lost over 50 kilos. She's doing absolutely amazing. I've got a story that I can share. If it's a smaller weight loss, I've got stories I can share on that too. So having 2 to 3 stories relevant to that client is really beneficial. So the more stories you can learn, the better the wellness evaluation will go, I think. Share before and after photos. At this point, also begin to explain the concept of the cellular nutrition and how programs help. I just have a little image, like it's used in most of the homes and things like that. And I just explain very basically cellular nutrition and about the villi and stuff like that. You don't have to go fully detailed, but just a quick explanation of it. Just to show that, we're not just having shakes and that, we're trying to improve our wellness. All right, so then choosing the appropriate program. So I will do all the talking, blah, 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 turn to the page. I'll say, these are our programs, fast, faster, fastest. I started on the ultimate. This is our fastest. What would you like to do? And that's it. I don't do the breakfast back, but so you show them the options. Then you stop. You wait. You do not speak. It is very difficult for me to do, but I do it. So you just wait, you pause, give them a few minutes, and then they'll start asking you questions. And it gives them, it puts the decision into their hands and nothing to do with you at all. So you're not forcing nothing on them. You're not trying to be over Sally. they'll either say, yes, I want to do that one, or they'll be like, well, most people say yes for the ultimate because I make them. No, I don't make them. It's just what I've started on, and I just go, that's the best. You want the best results, you do that one. Yeah, so then it's still in their hands ultimately. Sometimes it comes totally down to budget, which is fine. But they're always in their head knowing that when they can afford it, they're going to get on the ultimate program. Okay, so when you actually have them then start on a program, you really, really, really need to make sure they know what they're doing. Okay, so never assume they know how to make a shake, or never assume they know how to have supplements or what time to have them or things like that. Really, really make sure they know. I always, my first pack I will give them, I will write an indico on every product, exactly how to take it. If you don't do it, it's like, it's overwhelming. You can give them a book and say, oh, read this, but they probably won't. So if you can write it all on the, actually on the products, that's the best way. I'm going to ask Cheryl, is that what you do? Do you write directly onto the product, Cheryl?
In their first pack, I do.
Yeah.
Because you're right, you can give them all the information in the world to read, but they don't read it.
Yes. Awesome. Sandy, have you got any tips that you do when they first start out, how to explain the program? You on, Sandy? You might be there.
Yes, I am.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
Yeah. So you write on the labels when people are first starting out?
Yeah, I write all over the products. I put big smiley faces and I go, and when I'm writing it, I actually write it with the client sitting in front of me, so that they know what I'm writing. And I go, so with this product, this is what you do. And then I explain to them, write it on there, and then I go, do you have any questions?
Yeah, awesome. That's a good tip. I usually just write it before, but that's even better. Awesome.
Yeah, I just, so they understand, because if you give them, like you said, they don't read. They really don't, and it's because they're so nervous about doing it. I remember when we first started, we were like, oh my God, what do we do? Okay, I've got to do this. And I think if we explain to them while you're writing it, it just seems a little bit more easier for them to understand.
Yeah, well, I remember you're so nervous and there's so much information coming in, you just almost blank.
Information overload.
Blank it out. So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, sit down with them, write on each one. Always having the smiley face is good too. So when they open it, I like, some people do like a surprise message on the shake on the inside when you open the lid on the seal. That's cute too. So they open it and it's like, yay. She loves me.
Yeah, I do that when they open up the shake. I've got shake me on top of on the lid, and then and when they open up the lid, I've got a big smiley face. Remember to shake me.
Yes, just keep telling them over and over again. Yeah. So that's the best thing. So you can just, whatever you want to do, make it fun. Like Sandy said, you put lots of little smiley faces, make them feel special. This is really important. So this is our client care. Just those little things can make them feel special for that day. And never assume. I'm a really good person at assuming that people know things, and they don't necessarily do. So always just straight from the start, it doesn't matter how bright or whatever you think the person is, just really not dumb it down, make it simplified, and explain each process. So even just, when they get the shake out, tell them to make it a loose scoop and shake it off, and don't scrape it along the side and all that stuff, just to make sure in their first month the actual shake will last as long as you've told them it will last. So just basic little things like that to make sure everyone's happy and loving their program, and having a smiley face on your shake just makes it all the better. Yeah, so that makes, that's just what we're talking about before, makes them happy and excited to start their nutrition program. If they're overwhelmed, it can be like, it's like, oh, it's too hard, it's in the too hard basket. So we're talking about how simple and easy it is, so we've got to make it really simple and easy. Okay, so this is, if they're really pumped and excited, this is a perfect time to pass your referral information on. So even just mentioning, if anyone else wants to get started, I can do the same sort of wellness evaluation with them too. And some people will have like a massive list of people they want to help. Others will be like, oh no, this is all, I just want to focus on me for the bit, which is fine. But some people want to do it in that group dynamic and have a few people involved. And I think that's the best way to do it, because you've got those, you support everyone, you've got a support group. If you're not able to go to outside Herbalife things, then you've got your little own support group. So any referrals would be awesome at that time. Okay, then this is really important to explain your follow-up process. So you actually need to tell them what you're going to be doing. So obviously you can show them on a piece of paper, but you're going to say like, all right, so day 1, we're going to do your weighs and measures here now. Day 3, I'll actually do it on day 4. So after 3 days, we do it again. So on your day 4, we do your weighs and measures, and then day 7, and then weekly. Obviously, some people might need a little bit more follow-up. So you would still be measured, like talking to them regularly. But actually, if you're meeting up with them, you might do it just once a week. But still, I message people nearly daily. So just to see how they're going. I don't have to ask specific questions, but just keeping them, showing that you're actually interested and you care and you're there to support them 100% all the time. And then talk about how they want to be contacted. So some people like a phone call, some people don't have time for phone calls, so a text or an email or just through Facebook Messenger. However they want to do it, I always just ask, so how do you want me to contact you? Simple question, and it's usually, and I actually write it on their wellness profile so I know, like don't call for between this time, or don't, whatever they decide, whatever their rules are, whatever. But yeah, usually it's a Facebook Messenger for me or a text. It's just easier for people, especially when they're working and stuff, and I can message them whenever I'm free, and they do the same as well. Awesome. So whatever method you choose and decide on, make sure you actually follow, like keep doing that. Oh, there's some chats going on. Oh, sorry, late. Hello, Elizabeth. Whatever the method of follow-up you decide, make sure you follow through it. Awesome. Okay. So this is something else that we look at doing, inviting along. So if you can get, especially new clients around our little Herbalife family, they'll see the difference. Like they could have chosen any other program, but choosing ours and the support that comes along with it is just like what makes us stand apart from the rest. So inviting them along to things like a fit club, or maybe a coach academy if they're looking at the maybe the possible business side of things, or just helping other people, an STS, so that's a bit of a bigger day, or a kickoff meeting. So either, like, even if they're just VIP members and they love the products, inviting along to the STS, and that will just give them that little boost for the day. Just being around like-minded people on the same sort of journey, and that having that positive, like it's a big dose of positivity for the day. It's absolutely amazing. It helps them push further, and they'll hear stories from other people and just, a bit of inspiration, and then they might actually inspire someone else as well. And when you've inspired someone else, it's like, I don't know, it's a really awesome feeling when someone says to you, my God, that story just made me feel whatever, it is a little bit of a boost. Or a lot of a boost actually, and it just helps you push further and go, man, I'm making an impact. People are noticing, I'm inspiring others. It's absolutely amazing. Awesome. So on to DMO, so daily method of operations. So skip. It can be a lot of different things. There's a lot to choose from, and it's more to do what suits you. Decide something that you like. So we can have fit clubs, skim parties, nutrition clubs, a weight loss challenge, shake parties, always fun, fit challenges, so that longer term fit clubs things, walk and talk, so just walking around with a flyer or something, chatting to people, showing how happy and bubbly you are. I know Sandy's really good at the walk and talk. Road shows, so like at a markets or something, just displaying what's on offer. Healthy happy hours, so we've been doing those up in Cairns. They've been actually really, really awesome. That's it's only new. It's only about, maybe 2 months we've been doing it. It's just really, really great. It showcases the products. We get to have just a really relaxed chat and show people how to make, shakes and stuff. And just, they get to try them before they even, go and commit to joining up. Surveys, so you can go to shops and businesses and do surveys about health and wellness. Flyers and business launches. So everyone should have a business launch. Some people have another business launch and then another one. So just to make sure people are aware they're doing business still. So these are just examples of many different DMOs that are out there. But what exactly is a DMO? So what it is stands for Daily Method of Operation. It's the action we take to introduce people to the Herbalife opportunity. So it can be anything as long as it's an invitation to something where they're going to see or hear stories and results, either actual personal results or business results. And that's all it is. It's introducing people to that opportunity. When choosing your different DMOs, it's important to take the following into consideration. What do I enjoy doing? How much time can I give to my preferred DMOs? Can I see myself doing this DMO long term? So if you decide that Fit Club is your thing and you love it and you've been to a few Fit Clubs and you think, oh, I could do that, you need to be aware that it is long term. Okay, so you're starting up, you might be just doing a Monday session or whatever, but it's every Monday, and that's like, it has to be consistent. So you can't just chop and choose when you want to do it. So it needs that long term, you have to think long term, like, am I going to be able to do this for the next year or whatever it is? And just really think about that. Sometimes it's hard when your sponsor's doing a certain DMO, you try to maybe do what they do, but it mightn't suit you. You mightn't enjoy that. Pick what you like, make it, like I've said a few times, make it your Herbalife. It's no one else's Herbalife. It's what you decide you want to do, what you feel comfortable doing, and what you love doing. If you love it, like, it's so much funner you jump out of bed, you go on, yes, I've got Fit Club today. Or for me personally, I love my Dance Fit, and yeah, I just do it because I love it. So Thursday mornings are always awesome for me. Okay, so then think about, what are you trying to achieve from that DMO, whether it's retailing the products, recruiting people, or both. So just be really aware, especially flyers. So you want to know, like, obviously a flyer will say what you're doing on it, whether it's to get people's results or business, but really, really focus on what you're trying to achieve. So don't go and put out a, like, lose weight now, ask me how, and then try and convert them straight into like the recruiting mode or whatever. Just be really aware of what you're doing the DMO for. Then you need to ask yourself, this is for future when you've got team, is what I'm doing duplicable? So can others do this? Can others, if it's like money involved, is it too expensive to do? So things like advertising, that, look at the cost factors in those. Is everyone else able to do that, So some things like flyers and that, it's cheap. But if they're time poor, they might be able to do it. But if they've got a bit of money, they can obviously get someone to deliver it for them. So make sure what you're doing is duplicable, so other people can follow along as well. And the final key to choosing successful DMOs is consistency. So as you get further along in the business, you'll talk about 90-day plans. So it's doing actions for 90 days. So that's a fair chunk of time. Obviously, it all goes quickly, but choosing something that you can do consistently, for 90 days, and just try it out, see how it goes. This is cool. So Jim Rohn, some things you have to do every day. Eating 7 apples on Saturday night instead of just 1 a day isn't going to get the job done. That's actually really funny. So yeah, so you can't do everything all on one day, you have to do a daily method of operation. So daily, daily action, daily consistency, not smash and roll out on the Sunday afternoon or whatever it is, you know. Okay, so like I said at the start, we're going to talk about utilizing the 3-day trial packs for your business. It's actually, when I went through it, I was like, oh, that's a really smart idea. So, so these are an excellent way to qualify your leads. So this example shows you how to wean out who's serious and who's not serious. Okay, so it's a really good little tool to use. Is anyone using the 3-day trial system? Just put your hand up and I'll unmute you if you are. No. No one. Oh.
Hey, Carla.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of am, but not really. Does that make any sense? So if I have a client and I do a wellness and they just go, oh yeah, I'm not too sure, I sort of offer the 3-day trial then.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome.
And it's sort of like, see how they go from there. And majority of the time, if they do the 3-day trial, by the end of the 3 days, they're onto a program anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just the hesitation of whether they really want to do it or not.
Yeah.
And the only time I actually do offer them is when, when we do the, are we serious or not? How serious are you? If they're a 7 and above, is when I will offer the 3-day trial.
Oh, okay, cool. This is a really good, what I'm going to show you next is really good. It's pretty strong. It's weaning people out. Like it's like you are choosing your customers through this 3-day trial process. So I'll explain it all. Elizabeth, did you want to share? Elizabeth?
Hello, can you hear me?
How you going?
Okay. Yes, good, thank you. And sorry I'm late.
Oh, you're right.
Hello. And just coming on late, I'm like, oh my God, I love this topic. I love this. I've missed. So I'm definitely going to go back to the beginning and soak it all up. So thank you very much for what you've shared so far.
Yep.
But my first real client, I mean, I have a client in my daughter, but she's my daughter and she's lovely. But my first client, started on a 3-day trial pack and got results out of that and now has started the product. So I don't know anything different.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so if you find a method that works, you're going to stick to it. So if the 3-day trial thing works for you, that's awesome, and it's as we'll go through shortly, we're like actually qualifying whether we want to work with people or not. So I'll go straight into it. I thought it was, when I first read it, I was like, oh, it's a bit full on and harsh, but no, as I thought about it later on, I'm like, yes. So the 3-day trial pack does more than allow clients to try our products. It is actually allowing us to test potential clients and gauge how serious they are about starting a full nutrition program. So if you word it like that to people, like I'm actually like, this is something you can actually say. A 3-day trial program is for me to see if you are teachable and can follow my instructions. If all goes well in 3 days, I will consider taking you on as a full client. Like, I don't know, it sounded a bit harsh when I first read it, but like, I get it. Like, I totally get it. If they're really serious, they're going to like follow along with the instructions and do everything, you tell them to do. So does anyone think that's a bit full on, or actually they like that way of talking to people? Just unmute if you want to speak.
No, I think it's perfect. You're screening them to see if they will be a good client or not.
Yeah.
Because you don't want a client that's wishy-washy and won't listen to you.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be the ones that are going to be, not time wasting, but the hard ones. And sometimes you put your feet down and you want the hard ones because they need that change, but in the long run, I think this is perfect. And it is a good way of weaning out who is serious or not.
Yes. Oh, awesome. Cheryl, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, at first I was like, I read it and I went, whoa. But then when I think about a couple of my clients, I'm like, oh, yes, that would work.
You're like, I could have used that. And
exactly.
it shows your commitment too. You're like, I will help you, but I need you to be ready and teachable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, be strong, and like some people need that tough love. So it's just an example. Like, obviously you don't have to use this, but this is just some things that people are using. So by approaching the use of the 3-day trial packs with this mindset, it shows our potential client a number of things. It shows that you are serious, like I was saying. It shows that they need to follow your instructions, because you go, oh, well, you should do this. And they go, oh, but I'm doing that. And I'm like, well, this is what I've told you to do. So if you're not going to follow that instruction, then I can't help you. You will need to, you will help them as long as they are willing to help themselves. So that's a really important thing. Like, you can try your hardest, and if someone just doesn't want to try, then there's no point wasting your time on them. They will come back to you eventually, I know that, but at that point, if they're not ready to help themselves, there's not much you can do to help them, other than be there for them, obviously. Action steps. So first of all, we do a wellness evaluation, and you get your client started on their 3-day trial pack immediately. In that pack, you can actually have some referral slips. So it might be just your details, maybe. So maybe a few business cards, or it can actually be like a little referral slip. So it's up to you to decide how you want to do that. But to me, I'd just do like a little Word document, whatever, and have like name, phone number, what do you need to achieve, or something like, so what's your weight, so what's your wellness goals, or something like that. Something basic, and then you can actually contact those people as well. With a 3-day trial pack, it's follow up. It has to be crazy follow up. You need to be like, I'm going to be here every step of the way. So this is my commitment to you. I need you to commit to using your program. And that's just what you need to show them in that first 3 days, okay? And if everything goes well, then you can actually go, oh, I'm ready to take you on as a potential client. So it's like, okay, I'm allowing you. It's almost, like with a child, you'd be like, I don't know, I can't even explain it. But you're like giving them, taking them on, you're not trying to, someone help me here. You're not trying to, oh, come on, Sandy, you can explain it better than me. I'm trying to think of it.
Sorry. I was like, come on, Carla, you got this. No, you're making sure that they're doing the right thing so that you can work with them, because if they don't do the right thing, you're just going to be wasting your energy, and you don't need to do that. You need to help other people then.
Yeah. So you're like saying, I'm going to take you on as a client, so you're actually choosing the people you're working with, pretty much. Which, yeah, could be harsh, could be not harsh, but that's just how it's going to be. If you want to be really to the point, and you definitely want to help only people that want your help, then this is a way you could do that. And if you're from the start wording it like that, then they'll know you mean business. Okay. And then once they've got some awesome results. So I've seen a few on Nutrition Hub. So they've done their 3-day trial. They're on Nutrition Hub then, getting recognized for their 3-day trial results. And they're like, all right, this is the program they're starting on. Okay, so then you can plug them into the system. So different events and that as well, particular product trainings and coach academy, and just whatever else, is available in your area. So it could be fit clubs, etc. And this is where they will learn what they need to succeed on their program and be exposed to potential business opportunities of Herbalife. So the Monday night calls. So the nutrition call, it's great to show them all the different products that are available and hear other stories. So that's a great one to get your brand new people on who've just started their program. As they've been on their program for a couple of weeks, then you can expose them to, maybe the marketing plan call, and then, to see if they can move up the marketing plan, and then onto maybe the health coach calls and things like that. Awesome. All right. So we did goal setting in week 1, and we talked about the goals being SMART. So specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Okay, so has everyone got their goals in front of them that they write down? So I'm just going to get you to share a little bit about maybe like what goals you wrote, if there anything's changed since you've really like started focusing on different goals and things like that, and whether you understand the concept of that SMART, so the specific, measurable, attainable, whatever. So I'm just going to start with Cheryl. I'm just going to go back a slide too. Sorry, to actually have that up. Yeah. So is there, like, did you have any changes with your goals? Like, you've probably done this multiple times, but over the last few months or whatever, they've changed dramatically?
More to make them specific. Like, I actually went back to my first Health Coach Academy I did, which was way back.
Back in the day.
Back in the day with Beck. So it was not like last time, but the last time Beck did it before that. So I had done like weekly goals, monthly goals, whatever. But what I did was I went to my 50 yearly goals.
Yeah.
And I read through them. I marked off what I'd done. I think I've done about 10 of them.
Yeah.
I thought I would have done more, but because they were more like vague goals, like, oh yeah, I want to do this and I want to do that. I want to have this, but I didn't say I want to have it by a particular time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was just like, oh yeah, there. And when you don't have a particular time, you just tend to put it off and you think, yeah, I can do that later.
Yeah.
So what I did was I had done like 8 goals just off the top of my head for what I wanted now. And then I went back to my 50 goals, and every single one of those 8 goals were on my 50 goals, but in a different, vaguer form.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this time I went through and I want to do this by this month and this by that month. And, you know, like instead of saying I want to be under 68 kilos, I want my weight to be under 68 kilos by December this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And instead of saying I want to be world team, because that's my next pin, I want to be world team by August so that I can go to the world team event.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then instead of saying I want to be able to run 5 kilometers, I want to be able to run 5 kilometers by August. And the reason I picked August was in case the world team thing is in Sydney, and then if I can run 5 kilometers, then I can run/walk the 10 kilometer city to surf that I want to do, which I had said I wouldn't do till next year.
Ooh.
Because I'm not going to be in Sydney. So I'm kind of trying to link goals together to, like, each thing pushes the other along.
Yeah.
And then with the other goals, I went through the 50 and picked ones that I really want to have done by the end of this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or really need to have done by the end of this year. And so the ones I don't have a specific time frame for are by the end of this year. And then I have some that are like by August or September. Like, I want my bio age to be under 50 years by September. And the reason I pick September is because my birthday's in September. So just having little goals for, even if it's just the stupidest reason.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be under 50 before I turn 53 numerically.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, it's just, you know, you play little games with yourself and it makes it fun.
Yeah.
And so
sorry, keep going.
Sorry. Oh yeah. So and then there's just like I've got like a few general ones that are just things that I want to be doing every day, so that the fact that they're on my goals list makes me think, oh yes, I've got to be doing that every day, like listening to my 30 minutes minimum personal development, exercising 5 times a week, instead of just like, oh yeah, well, if I go to Fit Club I exercise, and if I don't, I don't.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Just stuff like that.
It's good to get really go through them. It's revising those goals over and again. Like you said, you've done those 50, probably 6 months back or something.
Yeah.
But you hadn't done that specific, measurable, attainable, all those little bits. Even if you do your weight one and you've got, I want to be whatever weight by date, then break it down even further. So then, like,
yeah, that's what I've done on the next page. Yeah.
Broken it down,
Yeah.
how much I'm going to do this month, etc.
Yeah, I've worked out
Yeah.
I have to lose 400 grams a week, so
awesome,
which is
easy,
way doable.
doable. See, relevant, attainable. That's what it is. It's doable. Attainable.
That's right. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, thank you very much, Cheryl, for sharing that. Elizabeth, how did you go? Have you been revisiting your goals you've written down, and gone through whether they, they match that SMART goal setting? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I just muted you again. Go. Sorry.
Yeah, slow start for me with my goals. I've got so many things on at the moment. House full of family, so I'm finding it hard to split myself now. But yeah, no, slow and steady. And steady. I'm going. Yeah.
So just even
It's
small goals. Think about what you want to do. Like Cheryl said, things she wants to do every day. Setting those goals. Things you want to do every week, and then making them specific, measurable, and what time, like timely.
Yeah, I've definitely learnt something by what Cheryl has shared this morning. So going back to my piece of paper and having a look and going, okay, not specific enough.
Yeah. If it's not specific, it sort of doesn't, like, you go, oh, I want to be fit and healthy, but like it's not. Like,
well, it's amazing that one starts at the beginning, because if you don't get that one right, the rest of it just doesn't fall into place.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. All right, so you got a little bit of work to do with your goals. It is
definitely.
Like Cheryl said, she's using goals from back, a few academies ago. So working through them and ticking ones off, like that's really fun when you get to tick a goal off. So making sure you have that list there. So in 6 months' time, you can tick them off, and it's a little achievement. So
I love it.
Awesome. All right. Sandy, have you revisited all your goals? Not all your goals, at least your 20 goals?
Yeah, I'm bit the same like Cheryl. I actually wrote them down, but I didn't actually have like dates on them or time or anything like that. It was just like, oh yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that. And yeah, I've actually revisited and gone, okay. And I did exactly the same thing as Cheryl. Like, I have a goal of where I want to be with my weight, so I've broken it right down, and I've literally got to lose 300 to 400 grams a week to get to my goal as well by the time, which is August, my birthday, because I'll be 47 this year. Also my body fat percentage, but my goals really are that I wake up every morning and I wake up with gratitude in my heart. And like, this is a daily goal for me because excuse me, where I'm living at the moment is very volatile, and the negative energy and everything like that. So I don't want to wake up with that energy inside of me. So I wake up, and before I even put my feet on the ground, I have to say 3 mantras, and that's just to get my mindset right. And listening to personal development, I've been doing getting up and doing a bit of yoga, just to get not just the mindset, but also my body in a good place as well. And that just doing those daily things for me has been a really big thing, because when I wrote down on my goals, I think it was back when, might have been one of Beck's academies actually, where I wrote all my goals out, and I was like, oh, I want to do yoga, and I want to do this, and I actually want to study Buddhism and all this sort of stuff. And I've actually started to tick all these things off because I've been doing them consistently, and I've just enrolled, myself to start doing Buddhism as well. So, that I can start seeing that sort of thing coming to fruition. And I've always thought when you write goals down, it's like, it's just like you're dreaming. But for me, it was like, oh, I've actually ticked some of my 50 goals off, and I think that's going back like 2 years ago.
Wow.
You know, I've actually ticked those goals off, and I didn't realize it till I revisited those goals. It took me a long time to find the books that I wrote it in. But yeah, and I was like, wow, I did that. And oh my goodness, I've done that as well, you know? So, and yeah, the one thing that I really wanted to do was study Buddhism, and that's coming about as well. So,
yeah.
you know, just a daily thing for me for goals is being nice to myself, being nice to my body, and accepting the fact that I am getting older and my body works in a different way to what it used to. You know, I used to get up every morning and do a workout. Now I don't do that. I get up and I do yoga, you know, so just changing things to work with what works with me, and keeping my mindset 100% that I can do. Yes, at the moment I'm suffering from vertigo, so it's not a fun thing. So reading is really hard for me. So I'm doing a lot of audio personal development. I actually cannot read at the moment. I can't keep the words from stopping from swirling. So yeah, I just, and I've actually, my personal development has also taught me to, you know, scribe, which is write things down. Unfortunately, I can't do that either at the moment. So I'm recording myself.
Awesome.
And yeah, and then it's sort of, I listen to that recording and go, oh, I did that today. Awesome. That's a tick off sort of thing. So yeah, just personal development goals, you know, keeping in a line with where I'm headed, and keeping on the right vibration of what I want out of life. So yes.
How did it feel when you've ticked off some of those goals? Like when you went through your old goals, what was that feeling like when you've gone, I've done that? Like, was it pretty?
It was actually quite a shock, because, you know, they didn't have dates on them.
Yeah.
And it was just sort of like putting it out there. Oh, these, you know, when you write your list of goals and you're like, oh, well, you know, I want to do this, and I want to go here, and I want to, you know, and one of them was travel overseas, you know, and I'm petrified of getting on planes.
Yeah.
You know, and I did it. You know, I traveled overseas. You know, I freak out getting on a plane going around Australia, but to be on a plane for so long, you know, was a big milestone for me. So yeah, it was huge. And when I ticked that off, I thought, wow, you know, and then to travel overseas and be able to do things overseas, you know, by myself sort of thing. I did that as well. You know, I went to the mall, and, you know, just little things that not most people wouldn't really, you know, even notice, but that was huge for me, you know. Another one was, you know, giving up control of who of where I'm at, letting go, you know, with family and things like that. Like, you know, my children are getting older and it's really hard to let go.
Yeah.
So that was one of my goals, was to actually transition better with my children, because they're not children, they're young adults now. So that was one of my goals, and I actually ticked that off. You know, I've actually got into a different place with that. So when I tick it off, it was a bit of a surprise, but then it was like, wow, even though I didn't have dates for this, it still happened, because I would still look at it, you know, thinking, you know, we're just normal, we're human, you know, we make mistakes. And I think when we make a mistake, as long as you accept that mistake and learn from that, you can move on, you know. So this was a good way of me growing, I guess. Yeah.
I was just about to say that's some serious growth happening, Sandy. It's so good to have those achievements, and they're written down. You're like, I want to achieve that, and you've done it. So it's really, really awesome.
Yeah, and it is. And, you know, the amount of times I used to beat myself up because I thought I was a bit of a, you know, overbearing mum sort of thing in some of the aspects. It was like, oh, well, I actually sort of pull myself back there. Yes, they still need my help and things with stuff, but yeah, it was easier to transition into them becoming adulthood, even though I didn't think I was ready. So yeah.
Awesome. So good. I love it. It's like almost freeing.
It is freeing. It is very freeing, because yeah, I think when you write your goals and you achieve them, you've achieved them. No one else has done it for you, you know. So that's a big, you know, I think we look at each other, you know, we'll look at ourselves really and think, oh, you know, how can I do this? You know, it's such a big dream. It's such a big, you know, pipeline sort of thing. You know, I can't see the end, but when you do it, it's like, oh, man, I did that. Pat on back, you know, like give myself recognition, because, you know, we just don't do that enough in our life, you know. So that was good. No, it was really good.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to keep writing goals, and that's like a forever thing, like always growing, always writing new things down. If you tick something off your list, add something else on there. Awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm getting all excited. I keep getting goosebumps when you're talking, Sandy. You'll say something. Oh, goosebumpy. Awesome. Okay, all right. So we went through that, and that's something we're going to do. Like, I know this is only a 4-week academy, but each academy, they talk about goal setting. So it's something just lifelong. When you keep adding goals, you want to achieve more and more and more and more. Okay, awesome. So I know this is the last week, but I still have some homework, and I want to I'll probably message everyone back on Tuesday next week, and we'll see if we've all done what I want you to do. So first of all, I want you to organise a time. It doesn't have to actually be sit down. But sit down with your upline or mentor or someone to run through your goals and to quantify them. Okay. So really, like, putting it out there and showing this is what you want, and making your upline aware, or your mentor, or whoever it is. Okay, so then this is maybe more for newer people, but for your DMOs, what are yours? Even if you're not new, writing down what your DMOs are. It's good to have four main ones. So you don't have a table with 3 legs, you need 4 to be stable. So writing them down and go, oh, do I actually have 4 DMOs? If you're just starting out, really look into the different types and research. So if you're new to the business world of Herbalife, when you organise your time to sit down and talk about your goals, really run through your DMOs with them, with your upline or your mentor, and maybe they might give you some, a bit of info about what might suit you better, or what they've done and what, whatever it is. So great idea to actually write it down, really think about it. And then for anyone that doesn't have all the paperwork they need, so like their wellness evaluation forms, there's client workbook, there's the wellness pass that you give to your client when you've done a wellness. Have all that organised. So have printouts of everything. I used to do, so my wellness questionnaires, I would print out a certain amount a month, and that was me like saying, this is how many new clients I'm going to get. So that's what I would put out there. So I usually would run out and have to print out more. So that was awesome. But yeah, if I only printed out like 5 that month, then I would only get a few clients, you know what I mean? So I don't know, it's like putting it out to the universe. I need this many wellness evaluation sheets for the month because I'm going to get this many clients. So basic things like that. They're being organised. So you don't want to like have someone pop in and you go to do something, you don't have all the information there. So having a proper, designated folder with that paperwork stuff in. In the chat, if there's anyone that doesn't have any of the documents that you need, let me know and I can just upload them. It's basic, they're all on my computer. Yes, so very exciting. I love these academies. This one was a really simplified startup version for people that are new to the system. But you know what? I think it's really great to get back to the basics. Sometimes we make it complicated. So if we can go back to the basics, start afresh again and just do simple things, I reckon our businesses will boom. All right, guys, thank you very much. Hopefully you got something out of this academy. I'm very grateful for the interaction I've had, online. Like there was a lot of, everyone contributed. It was really, really great to hear from everyone. And that's what they're about. We need to have that discussion between us. It's not me just sitting here telling you information. It's us all sharing our ideas. So thank you very much. Anything else you want to add, we'll do it all in the chat, and I will see you all next Tuesday when I have a chat and see how you have gone. Okay, thank you very much. See ya. Bye.